Well, hey, everybody, and welcome to this midweek review with Mr. John. I, of course, am Mr. John, and we are at the apex of Halloween. This Friday, you guys will be going out, you'll be getting your candy, and your parents will probably be taking one of the big candy bars, kind of telling you it's a Halloween tax. I'm here to tell you there's no such thing as a Halloween tax. Tell your parents. Don't argue. Okay, anyway, we have been talking about our man Job, right? Job has gone through it all. He was kind of the victim of a little bet between Jesus or God, I'm sorry, not Jesus, but God and Satan. And Satan had been walking the earth and he has been looking all over for anybody who is truly following God, who are righteous, who will not just turn their back on God if bad things happen, and the devil has not found anybody. So he goes to God and he tells him, hey, your earth that you created ain't so cool, man. They don't like you so much as they don't want to follow you in the bad times. And God lays it out. He goes, you may have tested a lot of people, but I guarantee there's righteous people. And I'll tell you, check out my boy Job down there. Job is a righteous man. And I tell you what, you can do anything you want to Job except kill him. And when the devil hears this, Satan hears this, he goes out of his way to do the absolute worst thing he can do besides kill Job. And I'm wondering at some point if Job didn't actually think that death might be kind of a better thing than all the stuff that he had happen to him. And he had loss of his land, he had loss of animals, his farming animals, his servants, his children, his health. He had this rash upon his body that was so itchy. It said he was scraping it with pottery, broken pottery. Can you imagine taking like a broken dish and scratching yourself because it just is so painful and itchy or whatever that you're trying to relieve it and he just can't. And it's covering from his heels to the top of his head. And man, that's got to be just crazy, right? But Job is in this midst of sorrow when he has his wife and he has these three friends and they're constantly talking to him, trying to get him to change how he sees God, to do what this Satan is telling him everybody else is doing, to turn his back on God, to just say, God, I don't want anything to do with you. And that was basically the wife. Now, his friends were a little different in their tactic. They were like going, Job, this is your fault. You have done something that has displeased God, and that's why God is doing this to you. And that could be further, there's nothing further from the truth. God does not come after us like that, right? Bad things, we've talked about this many times, bad things happen because sin is in the world. And Satan is personally attacking Job. But his friends are sitting there saying, Job, this is your fault. You need to walk away from God and just get your stuff figured out. You know, I guarantee once you walk away from God, you'll be better. God hears all this. And then last week we talked about how God came down and talked with Job and told Job who was the creator of the world, who is the one who measured it and who is the one who put things where they are supposed to be, who knows all. And with that, God had just proved his deity, and deity is his lordship, his godness, his greatness as God. He proves that he is all powerful, all knowing, everywhere all at once, right? I have this talk with a young man who just cannot understand that no matter where we go, no matter what we do, God is with us, right? If I'm sitting here somewhere in this room, probably all around me is God. So why do I do things differently, right? Why do I do bad things when like my parents aren't around? Because they can't see me is the thought. But if we kind of think on the level that, hey, listen, God is watching us all the time. God is with us all the time. It kind of changes how we look at things, right? How we do things. And God is telling Job in this moment, listen, I'm everywhere. I'm the one who created all this. I'm not the one who did this to you, but I'm the one who can get you out of this mess. And Job, he is like, oh, after he talks to God, he just becomes fully reverent. He becomes totally faithful to God. Even though he questioned God and he was sad and he was hurt and he was angry, all those things, guys, I'm telling you, emotions are okay. God knows we're going to have emotions. What God didn't want us to do or doesn't want us to do and didn't want Job to do was turn our backs on God, to blame him, to sit there and say, this is your fault. I am never going to talk to you again. I'm turning my back on you. Job, even though he had all these questions and sorrows and pains and hurts and angers, he never turned his back on God. He had some really good questions. And listen, God came about and answered them for him, right? And when he just hears from God, he becomes totally faithful back to God. The questions have been answered and he begins to pray. Now, that sounds kind of weird, right? Job has lost everything and he's praying, guess what? For forgiveness. He's praying that he didn't do something that made it look like or even did turn his back even slightly toward God. And Job didn't. And so God, in the end, this is the greatest part. God sees Job's faithfulness and he sees God's reliance on him. Oh, I'm gonna wait right there. Guess what? You know who we haven't heard from the beginning of the story? Only time we hear from him is Satan. Satan went after Job with everything, and then when Job is going through all this, and when Job comes back to knowing God, guess what? Satan does not try again because he knows he has failed. God wins in the end, and Job wins this battle against what the devil threw against him. And in this moment of after he prays to God, God sees his faithfulness. He restores Job. He takes away all those sores that were so itchy and he had to scrape them with pottery. He takes that away. He gives him his health back. He gives him his servants back. His land is restored. His animals, he gets animals enough that is like double of what he had of like sheep, donkeys, camels, all the stuff that a landowner in that time had. And he also is given 10 more children after all this. He is given plentiful. He is given in abundance. He is given double of what he had before because God was rewarding him for his faithfulness. And not only that, guys, Job gets to live 140 more years after that. He gets to see 4 generations of his kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, and great-great-grandkids. Right? He gets to watch him running around in the yard, maybe playing with the sheep or running on the hills. He gets to see this. He gets the joy of this. And God, guys, when we just follow God and we trust God, no matter what, in the bad times, in the good times, there's always going to be something that's going on. And guys, we need to put our trust and our faith in God because he will always reward us. We're guaranteed it. We are guaranteed if we are faithful and we trust God and we believe in who God is, we will get the greatest reward of all, and that is heaven. And we get to live in heaven with God for eternity. Now, we kind of lose track of how long eternity is because we have no idea in our minds how long forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever is, because we have no concept of it. We will live for eternity with God. So guys, put your faith and trust in him. Versus coming up next. We're past the Halloween. I hope you get lots and tons of candy. I hope you get the good stuff. And remember, there is no such thing as a parent Halloween tax. Love you. See you next time. Bye. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. Psalm 121:8.